Hi, I'm Shawna Brown, counsel here at Mandelbaum Barrett in the Elder Law Department. And I found a very interesting story I wanted to share that actually involves a very high net worth person, but also applies to everyday people. Tony Hsieh was a businessman who sold Zappos, the shoe website. We've all needed shoes for like a wedding, and you order from Zappos because you get it in a couple days. And, we've all been in that position. So he sold the website to Amazon for over $1 billion. And then he died in 2020 in a fire. So apparently, when he died, his father went into court and became the administrator of his estate. So if someone dies without a will, that's called dying intestate, which means that typically your next of kin can go to court and essentially become in charge of administering your estate. And then your estate will pass according to the laws of intestacy, which are laws that direct, typically that your assets are going to your next of kin. What happened was earlier this year, so we're talking 5 years later, Tony's will was located, and you're not going to believe this, in the belongings of a man who was entrusted to hold the will for Tony. Tony was afraid apparently that someone was going to tamper with or alter the will, so he gave it to this man. And apparently the man developed dementia and didn't even know that Tony had died. He then died, and his grandson found the will. Obviously, that creates a problem because dad has been administering Tony's estate all this time, and now there's a will naming different people as executors, so it creates a problem. Under the will, Tony left millions of dollars to Harvard University, some charities, and members of his family, as well as to some trusts, the terms of which are still up in the air. So right now there's a legal battle over this, that they want to remove Tony's father as the administrator and enforce the will. And of course, Tony's father is saying, I've been doing this job all these years, why remove me now? And not everybody sells Zappos to Amazon, but these things can happen to, everyday typical people. So first of all, where is a good place to store a will? Now, I don't know exactly where Tony's will was physically, but good places to store it are a will vault. If your attorney has one, we have one in our office. It's a fireproof vault, and there's records of what's kept in there so that it's kept safely and your family can be informed of where it is upon your death. Other ideas, if you want to store it in your home, certainly some place that's not, subject to fire or flood. You don't want to store it on the lower level of, your house, like your basement, that might flood. But if you have it in an appropriate container that's fireproof and waterproof, that could be a good place. Just make sure that someone has access to it, because upon your death, they'll need that to probate the will. What if the will is discovered later? Is that the end of the story? Well, no, it's not. There can be recourse. You can actually go to the court and say, this will has been later discovered, and I want to probate it. If it benefits you and you want to pursue that, you can do that. Of course, if too much time has passed, or if there are suspicious circumstances surrounding the will in some way, that may be an uphill battle, but certainly it's an option, and it may eventually lead to the estate being administered under the will. If you're encountering these issues or have questions, feel free to talk to the attorneys in the Elder Law Department. We are happy to help.